Pope Francis, the Holy Father, offered the following thoughts on the last Sunday of Advent. He said, "The church is like Mary awaiting a birth. And so all of us should unite our hearts to Mary and pray to Jesus the same prayer that Mary prayed. Come, I want to see your face." In a few short days, we will celebrate that moment when the face of the child is revealed and our prayer will be answered. Christ is with us. At the end of Mass or the Novena, you can walk over to the shrine of the Nativity, and with Mary, look at the face of the child. I asked Jerry this morning to put the Christ child there already. Actually, you've been gazing on that face for weeks. As Christmas cards arrived at your door, as you did your own decorating in your homes, in every direction, you encountered the face of Jesus. On Christmas, our scripture readings will recall those who first encountered the face of the child. They were angels, shepherds, some say even a drummer boy, and eventually the Magi. You need only to glance at the picture behind me to see the gathered, along with the stable animals, gazing at the face of the child. If we all meet at the front of the church before the shrine of the Nativity and shared how we felt and what we saw as we looked into the crib, we might hear stories about the birth of your own children, what it was like to finally see the face of your newborn. I would think that it would be among the greatest moments in your life. If I asked you how often you glanced to see that face in those early days, you would find it difficult to think of the numbers. On Thursday, in our celebration of Christmas, we once again join Mary in looking like any mother again and again at that face, the face of her newborn child. A question often asked at the birth of a child is, who do they look like? Take a good look at the face of this child and answer the question. The face looks like all of ours. Jesus took on the human face, so in the here and now, we might be touched by God. Through his becoming one of us, we have seen the face of God and experienced the embrace of God. The image of the Christ child comes out just once a year, but the face of Christ is present to us every day of the year. And that is one of the challenges of the Christmas mystery, to reflect on the many, many faces that mirror the face of this child. Where do we encounter glimpses of Christ's face every day? Certainly in the love and charity that is all around us. In history, there are stories of the great saints who lived exemplary lives and bore witness in great ways to the presence of Christ in the world. Our own St. Vincent de Paul is one of them. Many of us are blessed to have lived as contemporaries of Mother Teresa, a woman heralded by believer and non-believer to have borne the face of Christ. A woman who reminds us that the face of Christ is seen most clearly in the faces of the poor, who need to be loved and cared for as much as any child, the poor who need to experience the embrace of Christ, who, like all of us, share that same face, the face of Christ. Look again at the image behind me, the image of the Nativity. Look at the poor shepherds. They're among the first faces seen by this child. As they glanced at him, he glanced back at them. Each of us here, as we gather to celebrate this feast of Christmas, are called to be people who mirror the face of Christ in our daily lives. Before we come to the front of the church to take our glance into the crib, we should be able to turn to the person next to us and see the same face, the face that we see in the crèche, the face of Christ. Today, may we take the time to give thanks for the many times we have encountered the face of Christ in our lives, and resolve to show that same loving face to others, especially the poor. In these days, we celebrate because Christ is born, and God is with us to show us his love and care and invite us to a life that lasts forever. Jesus' coming was promised in the Old Testament, and the promise is now fulfilled in the stable in Bethlehem. Our God came among us in the most unexpected of places, and some few were granted the opportunity to share that moment and with Mary and Joseph gaze upon that face. May each of us be blessed to see that face and to be that face each and every day.